Hi, my name is Bintu and today I am going to teach you the concept of constructor overloading in Java. I assume that you have seen my earlier videos on YouTube. There were some concepts of OOPS and there were some concepts of how to run your first Java program on NetBeans, and these are the URLs for them. The concept is explained in both English and as well as in Hindi language. Please have a view to it. In the last lecture we saw the concept of default and parameterized constructor. So you are sending two parameters while defining an object. So compiler will look for a constructor with parameters in it. Obviously this is the constructor. How you know it's a constructor? When the method of the class and the class name resembles, that means it is a constructor only, and it automatically executes on defining an object. And what is the purpose of a constructor? It initializing the values of the data members, email address and password. This is what we did in the last lecture. Today we are going to learn the concept of how to get the value from the keyboard. See, in the last lecture what you were doing, that you were having the fixed values, like this is the email address, it is fixed, bmharwani@yahoo.com. What if I want the email address to be typed by the user? This is the password, again it was fixed. So what I am going to teach you this time, that this time the values will not be fixed, it will be entered by the user. This is the code for that. We will start understanding the code from the main function. You are defining an object cust1 of class customer. How many parameters are there? None. So obviously the compiler will look for a constructor with no parameters. Obviously it will look for a default constructor. Compiler will jump over here. It will look if there is any constructor. Yes, this is the method. Its name is same as the class name, so it is definitely a constructor. No parameters, so it's a default constructor. It will execute this constructor. Now what you are doing in the constructor? You are defining an object of class scanner. Scanner is a class which accepts the values. It accepts the data streams. You are defining an object scanner and you are passing system.in, that is keyboard, input device. You are sending it. If you define here any file name, this scanner object will read from a file. If you define any string variable or any string in apostrophes, it will read from that string. So what is the scanner object? You define whatever the stream here, it will read from that stream. On the screen you will get a message, enter email address. Here you are invoking the next line method of scanner class. It will read from the specified stream until and unless line separator occurs. Line separator means line feed character, enter key that we call. So what is this next line method doing? It is reading from the keyboard until and unless user presses enter key. Because you never know how long is the email address. So it will keep reading from the keyboard until and unless user presses enter key. The first email address entered from the keyboard is assigned to the data member email address. It will again ask you to enter some password. The user will type the password and it will keep on reading until and unless user presses enter key. It will read the two things, email address and password, and will assign it to the data members of cust1 object. You are defining another object, cust2. Compiler will again go at the top and it will again execute this constructor. This time again it will ask you to enter email address and password, and whatever you will enter, the email address and password will be assigned to the data members of which object? cust2. After that it will display on the screen the first customer information is, it will invoke get customer method via cust1 object, so it will come here. It will print email address and password of which object? Obviously cust1. So whatever the user has entered the email address and password in the first object while defining the first object, it will be displayed here. Then the control will come over here. It will display the second customer information is, it will invoke the get customer method via cust2 object. It will come over here. It will display email address and password, but this time it will display the values which were assigned to the data members of cust2 object. Let's copy it and see how this program is working. It is giving you an error that I am not able to understand what is the scanner object is, because you haven't defined its header file where the meaning of these methods are kept. So here you click, it is asking you to import this java.util.scanner. Double click on this. It is automatically imported and the error is also gone. Simply run the program. This is the console window for you. Obviously it is asking you to enter the email address for the first object. So suppose you enter say bintu@gmail.com. It is asking you for the password, say gold. Enter email address, this is for the second object. Suppose I enter chirag@hotmail.com. Asking for the password, say platinum. It is assigned to the object of the second class. So see, it is displaying you these values. First customer information is email address. This is the email address, bintu@gmail.com, displaying the password of the first object, displaying the email address of the second object, chirag@hotmail.com, displaying the password of the second object. So this is working perfectly. One more concept is there in constructor, that is known as constructor overloading. In a class, when you have more than one constructor, see in this class, you have one constructor, yes. How many parameters are there? None. So it is a default constructor. Again, there is one more constructor. Can you see that? But how many parameters are there? One. One more constructor is defined, but this time it has two. Constructor overloading means when in a class you have more than one constructor with a difference in type signature. When I say type signature means it might be the difference in the quantity of the parameters. There is no parameters, there is one parameter, there are two parameters, and it might be the difference in the data types. Suppose there are two parameters here, I agree. I can define one more constructor here, but with one integer and one string. One more constructor with two parameters, but this time of two float types. What I mean to say, when you have more than one constructor with a difference in the quantity of parameters and their data types, it is known as constructor overloading. How the compiler will know which one to run? While defining an object, from the type and the quantity of parameters that you are passing, it will recognize which constructor it is supposed to run. For example, here you are defining an object cust1 and you are not passing any of the parameters. Obviously the compiler will look for a default constructor. It will go at the top, it will find a default constructor and it will execute it. If it will not find any default constructor, it will raise an error. Here it will invoke one constructor which has how many parameters? One, and that two of string type. If it finds a constructor with a string parameter, it is okay, it will execute it. You are defining an object cust2 and you are passing one string parameter chirag@yahoo.com. It will go and execute this constructor. Chirag@yahoo.com will be assigned to this parameter E. From E, it will be assigned to the email address data member of cust2 object, obviously. And here you are taking the default value. Good. Here it is defining an object cust1 of customer class. Compiler will go at the top. It will execute it. Here you have taken the default values. You are assigning a default email address bmharwani@yahoo.com to the data member email address. You are assigning a default password diamond to the data member password. These are the two values which are assigned to the data members of cust1 object. You are defining a cust2 object. You are passing one string chirag@yahoo.com. It will obviously execute one constructor with a single parameter of string type. From E, it will be assigned to the email address data member of cust2 object. For password, you have taken a default value gold. Here you are invoking the cust3 object, but this time you are passing two string parameters. It will search for a constructor with two string parameters. It will find here. So num1@gmail.com will be assigned to E parameter. Platinum will be assigned to P parameter. From there it will be assigned to the data member's email address and password of cust3 object, obviously. So these are the three constructor called. So compiler will not get confused on finding more than one constructor. It will determine which constructor to call from the number of and types of the parameters being sent, from the type signature. After that, what you are doing, you are simply displaying the values, invoking getCustomer method via which object? cust1. So it will come over here, it will display the email address and password of which object? Obviously cust1. So it will display the email address and password which was assigned. The default value it will display bmharwani@yahoo.com and diamond here. Then it will come over here, it will display the text. Second customer information is, it will invoke the getCustomer of cust2 object. So it will come here, it will display email address and password which was assigned to the cust2 object. Obviously it will display chirag@yahoo.com and the default password which was assigned as gold. Thereafter it will come here, it will display the information of the third object cust3. So it will display these two default values that we sent, num1@gmail.com and the password as platinum. So let's run this in the NetBeans. Let's run this. See, it is displaying all the three. You are getting the values which are assigned to the three objects. This program is working perfectly well, and if you got any problem, just mail me at bmharwani@yahoo.com, and please do subscribe me. Write your comments. See, please don't forget, you have to write comments so that I get continuous inspiration to create more videos for you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.